Every day, doctors face the task of delivering life-changing news to their patients. Sometimes the news is good, but often it's not what the patient hoped to hear. Breaking bad news is one of the most challenging parts of a physician's job. But why is it so difficult, and what can be done to make this task as compassionate and effective as possible? Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're diving into a topic that is both sensitive and significant: why breaking bad news is so hard for we doctors, and the ways we can improve this crucial aspect of our practice. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification so as to stay updated on my latest content. Let's start by understanding the weight of the task at hand. Delivering bad news can be emotionally taxing for both the doctor and the patient. Doctors enter the profession to heal and to help, but sometimes, despite our best efforts, we must convey messages of uncertainty, decline, or death. Imagine the pressure of delivering a message that will undoubtedly change someone's life. It requires a delicate balance of empathy, honesty, and professionalism, a balance that is always not easy to achieve. There are several reasons why this is so challenging. The first is the emotional impact. Bad news can cause significant distress to patients and their loved ones. We doctors must navigate our own emotions first while providing support to those in a vulnerable state, and that's not an easy thing to do. Then there's the fear of the patient's reaction. How would they respond? Would they shoot the messenger, so to speak? And how will this affect the doctor-patient relationship? There are multiple cases of doctors being assaulted and even killed by patients' relatives because of this. Imagine that a doctor had gone through this before, maybe a couple of times. This is something that he or she would try to avoid. Then there's also the complexity of the medical information itself. Bad news often comes with uncertainty, which can be difficult to communicate clearly and compassionately. We use a lot of jargon. Some of the information aren't yet complete, but we must relay information to the patients and or their relatives at different points in time. Such infos can even produce more questions than answers we can provide at that moment, so this further makes things difficult. These are just a few factors that make breaking bad news so daunting. There are no professional physician newsbreakers, but the good news is there are ways for us to improve in our approach. The remaining part of this video is mainly for doctors, but if you aren't one of us and want to learn, please feel free to continue watching to the end. But if you don't wish to continue, I hope you understand with us that we aren't just insensitive, although there are some of us that are. It's just that this work is quite difficult for us too. We will keep getting better. Please bear with us. The recommended strategy that can help us become better breakers of bad news is using the Spikes protocol. The Spikes protocol is a step-by-step strategy for breaking bad news. Each of the letters in Spikes means something, and hence the name. It involves, first, setting the scene. 2. Assessing the patient's perception. 3. Obtaining an invitation to disclose more information. 4. Giving knowledge and information. The next is addressing emotions with empathy, then strategizing and summarizing the next step. So this might look overwhelming, but let's break down each of the components of the Spikes protocol. You'll get it. The first is the setting up. Setting up the conversation is crucial. Find a private and quiet location. Ensure you won't be interrupted, and sit down with the patient to create a more equal and comfortable dynamics. For perception, before you deliver the news, understand what the patient already knows. This allows you to correct any misinformation and tailor the conversation to their level of understanding. After setting the stage and understanding the patient's perspective, then it's time for the next step. The invitation is about gauging how much information the patient wants. Not everyone wants all the details at once, so it's important to ask for permission before delving deeper. With an invitation to proceed, the next step is then to share the knowledge. When giving knowledge, be honest and clear, but avoid medical jargon. Use language that is easy to understand and be as direct as the situation allows. Once the information is out there, it's time to address the emotional response. Empathy is essential at this stage. Empathy simply means putting yourself in your patient's shoe. Acknowledge the patient's emotions and offer support. This might be the most important part of the conversation, where you connect human to human. Then finally, it's time to strategize and summarize. Discuss the next steps and make sure the patient understands their options. Summarize the key points and confirm that the patient feels informed and supported moving forward. While the SPIKES protocol is a powerful tool, there are more general tips doctors can use to enhance their communication. And here are some of the tips. The first is to practice active listening. This ensures that patients feel heard and valued. It's not just about what you say, but also about being a receptive sounding board for their concerns. Next is to maintain eye contact and use appropriate body language to show you are present and engaged. Non-verbal cues like nodding or shaking your head can be just as powerful as words. Then it's important to be prepared for a variety of reactions. Some patients may become emotional, some may want more details, some may need time to process the information before they can respond. So be able to respond appropriately to whatever reaction they produce. The next tip is to offer resources like support groups or counseling and make sure to follow up. The initial conversation is just the beginning. Ongoing support can make a huge difference in a patient's journey. You can practice these tips not just with your patients, but in your everyday conversation with family, friends, and colleagues. It's a skill that has to be developed. No script or protocol will completely ease the difficulty of breaking bad news, but with the right approach, doctors can provide clarity and comfort during some of life's most challenging moments. Thank you for joining me in this. Until next time. Says I'm emotional myself, child. It's well.